Imagine pulling into a McDonald's drive-thru and realizing that the passenger in the car next to you isn't moving because he's already dead. This chilling scene actually happened in Florida, where one man's shocking explanation left police and the public stunned. Florida has a long history of bizarre headlines, but this one still managed to stand out. A man was arrested after casually driving to McDonald's with the body of a dead teenager in his car, and when questioned, his excuse was something no one expected. He blamed it on ADHD. The story begins late at night when the man pulled into a McDonald's parking lot. At first glance, it looked like any other late-night food run. But customers and staff quickly noticed something disturbing, though. Passenger in his vehicle wasn't responding. Witnesses grew suspicious, and when police were called, they discovered the horrifying truth. The teenage boy had been dead for several hours, and shockingly, the driver admitted he was fully aware of it. Instead of calling 911 immediately, instead of contacting family or authorities, he chose to drive around with the corpse beside him before eventually stopping for fast food. When confronted, his explanation was bizarre. He told investigators that his ADHD was to blame. He claimed that panic and impulsivity caused him to lose control, that his condition somehow made him incapable of making the right decision in such a moment of crisis. But experts quickly pushed back. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, while very real, does not cause someone to casually transport a dead body to McDonald's. It can cause restlessness, difficulty focusing, and impulsive actions. But using it as an excuse for such an extreme and disturbing choice felt more like deflection than a genuine explanation. Many saw it as an attempt to shift blame away from himself. As details emerged, it became clear that the victim was someone the man knew. According to reports, the teenager had overdosed while spending time with him. In that moment, instead of seeking emergency help, the man panicked. Hours went by, and still he did not contact authorities. Instead, he continued driving with the body in his car, and eventually, as though it was a normal night, he went to McDonald's. Surveillance footage later revealed how customers reacted when they realized something was wrong. Staff members described the atmosphere as chilling, something they could never forget, almost like being trapped in a nightmare. When the story reached the public, outrage erupted. On social media, people couldn't believe what they were reading. Some mocked the excuse, while others expressed anger at the insensitivity of blaming a mental health condition for a crime. Memes and jokes flooded in, but behind the humor, there was genuine frustration. ADHD is already misunderstood by many, and using it as a scapegoat in such a disturbing situation only risks adding more stigma. Mental health professionals spoke out as well. Psychologists explained that ADHD does not erase someone's sense of right and wrong, nor does it explain a decision as extreme as driving around with a dead body. One even said ADHD doesn't make you drive with a corpse in your car. That was a choice. The legal consequences for the man are severe. He was arrested and charged with multiple offenses, including failing to report a death and tampering with evidence. Prosecutors are reviewing whether more serious charges could apply. If convicted, he faces years in prison. Legal experts believe the ADHD excuse will carry no weight in court. In fact, it might make things worse for him because it paints him as someone unwilling to take accountability. Juries do not look kindly on excuses that insult their intelligence. And this one might stand out as one of the most unbelievable defenses ever attempted. But beyond the courtroom, the case has raised deeper questions. Why didn't he pick up the phone and call for help when the teenager overdosed? Was he scared of getting into trouble? Was he under the influence himself? Or was it simply a matter of selfishness, not wanting to deal with the consequences? Whatever the reason, his actions turned an already tragic situation into something grotesque. A family has lost their child, and they will never get answers that truly satisfy them. It's no excuse, certainly not ADHD, can undo the pain of that loss. For many, this story has become one of the strangest and darkest Florida headlines in years. Florida man has become a kind of meme, shorthand for bizarre and outrageous behavior. But this story shows the tragic reality that sometimes lies behind those headlines. A teenager is gone, a family is grieving, and a man will soon face the full weight of the law whether or not he wants to hide behind a diagnosis. The image of someone driving casually through a McDonald's line with a dead passenger beside them will stick in people's minds for a long time. It's disturbing, surreal, and almost unbelievable. But it's also a reminder of the consequences of panic, poor judgment, and irresponsibility. At the end of the day, ADHD does not explain what happened. It cannot justify the choices made. What happened that night was a tragedy, made worse by a man who refused to act responsibly when it mattered most. And that is how one of the strangest Florida man stories became something much darker, heartbreaking headline that will go down as one of the state's most disturbing cases in recent memory.